Kabul is on the brink. What do you say, Ray? Kabul is on the brink.
Look, I don't understand. It's been 20 years since 9/11. Are we really still worried about them doing terrorism? I mean, look, if they're not morons and they learn their lesson, like, hey, it took us 20 years to get this back, maybe we don't have next bin Laden hanging out over here.
But they didn't really.
Well, they took the country over. But if I was the Taliban, I'd be like, look, the one thing we don't do is have terrorist camps. That's right. If I were the Taliban, that's what I would do. Because now we're back in charge. They can't look.
But then the Taliban's going to be like, but they're telling us. The U.S. is telling us we should have terrorist camps.
Don't fall for it again.
Us. Yeah. They're telling us.
That's the thing. Don't fall for it.
Great point. Don't fall for it. You fell for it in the 80s. You kept falling for it through the 90s. Like, when we tell you we want to train and arm radical elements of your society, don't go in for that.
I mean, has there ever been a country, maybe, I don't want to like play the typical, whatever, but France gets accused of laying down for the Nazis. But like I'm saying, Afghanistan, they don't seem to be doing anything. At least all the American officials are saying that, like, we trained them, we did all this. They're not doing anything to stop this. The Afghan, provisional government, or whatever they call it, or regular government, or the armed forces of. I mean, we've been training them for 20 years. At what point are we like, you got to defend your own country? Maybe they just want the Taliban.
I mean, it's a great point. Michael Tracy said it on Twitter. It's like, how have we built this thing that collapses in like a day?
Yeah.
How does this work?
Maybe we were just spending the whole last 20 years like growing opium.
I also don't think we ever want any of this to work.
Yeah. But we want a reason to go back.
Yeah. Well,
we want to collapse. I mean, maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's the play. Is that like, look, we're gonna go back, but we need a year or two where it gets real bad, where like we can point to like, look, they're making the women wear dog collars again. We can't allow this. Like, it was too good for too long in Afghanistan.
Yeah. It's very strange, and I don't know what's going to go down. I just know that we've got really a few peaceful years left on this planet before it gets a hell of a lot worse. It's tough to tell people that served the country, like the people that are joining the military now, it's like, God bless them.
I mean, it's still better than working at Walmart, I guess.
I guess you're right. That's a good point.
He's not getting a job at Ford.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's because now we now know, like, the proof is really out there that like nothing is going to work.
No, I mean, like
should the armed forces now just have a sign that says "You will die in vain"? Yeah. Like, there's no way you won't die in vain. Unless somehow, like, you save a baby on one of these missions that makes sense to no one, that's doomed to failure, maybe you, like, save a baby, and that's your good, but pretty much.
Or you're Chris Kyle and you shoot the baby.
Right. Dude, so Ben goes out, they have friends in Texas, and like all the people here in Texas think Chris Kyle's like a hero. Like they believe like everything, like right. They're like, you ever see the movie American Sniper? You ever see it? You ever see that movie Zero Dark 30? What? It's a clown show. It's a.
They all hate Jesse Ventura. They think he's an American scum.
Yeah, so what was... He's dead now, right?
Is he dead? Chris Kyle basically in his book said that Jesse Ventura was like at some SEAL funeral, Navy SEAL funeral, and just like saying the guy deserved to die. and got in some fight with him. And like, which is like, even... Look, I know he goes on TV and talks about the Loch Ness Monster, but I mean, the guy was like basically a SEAL. Like, I don't think he's like Jesse Ventura.
Is Jesse Ventura alive or dead?
Oh, he's alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's an interesting guy to get on the show.
Oh, he'd be great to talk to.
Yeah.
I mean, look, just don't ask him about the harp gun. He gets a little, things get a little hazy when you talk about stuff like that. But
why?
I think he knows. He's just like, he doesn't really have he casts a wide net.
What, the weather gun? Is that what you mean by the harp gun?
I'm just saying he doesn't really have a strong filter. I think he wanted to fill that show up with topics. So
he made some good points about 9/11 and some other weird shit.
No, he does. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just but then he might start going off about
gun. But the harp gun is the real problem.
Right.
There is a COVID gun. You're like, Jesse.
Stay focused.
I take ivermectin in my asshole. It's not gay.
He's just going off about Navy SEALs. Navy SEALs all deserve what they get. SEAL Team 6 was a bunch of pussies. Bin Laden's an American fucking hero. How great would it be if he just went completely insane? I love Osama bin Laden and the bin Laden family. He's just doing praying to Mecca.
Yeah. The only God is Allah. The only true God is Allah. He should open up. We should see how far we can get. Telling him we're big investors and that we want to open up a conspiracy theory restaurant with him.
Conspiracy Fridays.
You'd get a meeting. You'd absolutely get a meeting if you were like, Jesse, we really want to open up a conspiracy themed restaurant like an Applebee's or a Fridays or an Outback. But instead of boomerangs and kangaroos on the wall, we have
syringes,
pictures of Building 7 and fucking the Northwoods nachos are my favorite. Things like that.
MK Ultra Feast.
Yes, MK Ultra. I mean, I always wanted to do a conspiracy theory line of ice creams. We talked about it on the Patreon, but ice cream is so hard. You can't do it. You can't ship it. You can't make any money. I've always wanted to make my own line of ice cream.
A conspiracy hot sauce, maybe.
No, I'm sick of the sauces. I can't taste anything right now. Food is still good, which is how you know that you have a problem with food. Is that when you can't taste anything, food's you're still looking forward to it. Yeah. People are how can you eat? I'm I can eat. You just don't taste it. You just keep eating.
It's nice and chewy.
I'm eating a lot healthier now. I'm just eating nothing inflammatory because of the COVID, which I think in a few days I'll test negative. But the whatchamacallit, I've always wanted to make a line of ice creams and sell them, but very expensive to a very small select group of people. We'd have to we'd probably have to charge something stupid for a pint of ice cream.
$50?
Something like that.
People might buy it.
I think you're right. Well, you had a great, we had some good ideas about Jeffrey egg cream. Where we'd have an egg cream style ice cream with a fudge ripple and then little chocolate girls. Or we'd have the sweet jet fuel doesn't melt sweet cream. And we'd have a 9/11 themed ice cream. We had a whole thing.
Controlled demo licorice.
Something like that. Joan Beignet Ramsey, which had beignets, and it had a chicory coffee swirl. It was a New Orleans theme, even though they're not from there, but,